Are you tired of feeling like you're working hard but barely getting by? Do you ever feel like no matter how much you hustle, you're still left with nothing to show for it? If so, today's message from God might be exactly what you need to hear. In our first reading from Haggai, God's people had just returned from exile, and they were eager to start rebuilding their lives in Jerusalem. They began to build their own homes and businesses, and they were making some pretty fancy places, too, with paneled walls and cedar ceilings. But there was one big problem. While they were busy building their own fancy homes, they neglected God's house, which was in ruins, and God wasn't happy about it. He sent a message to them through the prophet Haggai, and he said, "Is it time for you to live in your paneled houses while my house lies in ruins?" Haggai 1:6. In other words, they were putting way too much effort into taking care of themselves and their own stuff, and they weren't putting enough effort into taking care of God and His stuff. And because their priorities were all messed up, they were working hard, but their hustle wasn't leading to satisfaction. They were just going through the motions, and they weren't really accomplishing anything. They were like hamsters on a wheel, running and running, but never getting anywhere. But God had a message for them. He wanted them to know that He wasn't looking for a perfect life. He was looking for a heart that sought Him. And when they turned their focus back to God, He promised to bless them and help them succeed in everything they did. In the psalm, the author reminds us that the Lord takes delight in His people. He wants us to know that He loves us, and that He is always ready to help us when we call on Him. But we can't just call on Him in times of trouble. We need to call on Him in all aspects of our lives. We need to bring Him into our everyday experiences and let Him lead us, guide us, and direct our paths. The psalm also reminds us that God crowns the humble with victory. When we humble ourselves before Him and acknowledge that we need His help, that's when He can lift us up and help us achieve our dreams. In the Gospel, King Herod was troubled by Jesus. He heard about all the amazing things Jesus was doing, and he was curious about Him. But Herod wasn't interested in following Jesus. He was just curious about Him. And if we're not careful, we can become like Herod, just spectators who are interested in God but not committed to Him. We can hear about Jesus and His teachings, but we can never truly know Him, unless we take the time to get to know Him personally. So if you're feeling stuck or unmotivated, know that you're not alone. Many people have been in the same position and felt the same way, but the solution is simple. Just turn your focus back to God, humble yourself before Him, and acknowledge that you need His help, and then watch as He takes care of everything else. God bless you.